But let me just say that this just leaped out at me 2 or 3 weeks ago. It leaped out at me again this morning, and it talked about watch it, don't forget God, and start walking after other gods and serving them and worshiping them. And he says the day that we do, so we can ask ourselves a question sometime. It's just like, well, where are we walking? I mentioned this here a few weeks ago. Where are we walking? What are we doing? What are we serving? What are we spending the most time? But he says, walk after other gods and serve them and worship them. I testify against you this day that ye shall surely perish. And how many of you know you can't make it without the Lord? And then it goes, and we think sometimes we need these other things and all, but we need to be real careful about what we make a God in our life. What we turn into a God. We can even turn people into a job. We can turn jobs or positions or whatever, things or junk or cars or whatever. But listen, as the nations which were destroyed before your face, listen to this, so shall you perish. Now listen to this. Here's the part that really jumped out and I want to leave with us today. Because you would not be obedient to the voice of the Lord, your God. This just jumped out. The reason we perish is because how many of you do know and you really believe that God does speak to us?
Amen.
How many of y'all heard him speaking to you before? Okay, we believe that. I believe that. Yeah, I believe that be like they say, it's carried and so ordered. Okay? I believe it was it was a big enough percentage of people that voted just a minute ago were either affirmed that it's true that God does speak, and he spoke to us before, and we've heard his voice. So listen to this. He said that people perish now, not only because of all this other about where they walk and who they serve and what they work, and that would have an effect on that. But listen to this. And as the nations were destroyed before your face, so shall you perish, because you would not obey the voice of the Lord.
Amen.
What scripture is that?
Huh?
What scripture is that?
This is one that I've said that I believe God teaches. No, I'm cutting up with you. I'm cutting up with you. Deuteronomy 8, and it's 1 through 20, but that verse down there is probably close to 20 or 18 or 20, but in the 8th verse, you'll find it, Deuteronomy, the 8th chapter. And thank you, because other people might want to know where it is. But as they were destroyed, all those nations, because you would not obey. And that obey just stood up. How many times have we felt, can I go ahead and say, a lot of times it's even in either sinning or not sinning. Or you understand what I'm talking about? You're already thinking about it. How many of you know that pretty much everything we do is premeditated?
Amen.
Come on. We hear the term premeditated murder all the time. People brew it in their heart and think what they're going to do and plan it and work it out and stalk people and wind up killing people and all this kind of stuff. But it's premeditated. They've been going over this thing in their mind the whole time. And even before, most of the time, before we do something wrong, regardless of what it is, sin or whatever. And by the way, let me just stop and say, again, I agree 1,000% with what Roger said. You heard an old saying all the time, yeah, we're just sinners saved by grace. You better not be a sinner right now. We are saved by grace if you sin. We're saved by grace, to get in and to be part of the family of God. But if you're sinning, then you need to quit sinning and repent of it. Come on, and ask God to help you. And people say that all the time. Well, we're just a sinner saved by grace, and forgive us for our many sins. They wait till the end of the day and pray that. I really believe with all my heart, conviction power will set in and rest in on us and lay heavy on us if we're sensitive to God, to where we can repent over something, confess it to the Lord, and get that out of the way. Then we don't have a problem no more with it. I mean, we may face it again, but what I'm saying, that's over and done with, and you don't need to wait till the end of the day. You might not even make it to the end of the day, where you can get outside your bed, where most people don't get outside their bed anymore, I don't think. Come on, it's real easy to say, let's lay in bed and pray. We can lay in bed and pray, and you sure will. after a few words if you don't watch out. But if you don't get you a place to pray, make you a place to pray sometime. Not that you can't pray in bed, so please don't let me stop you from, well, I just want to pray. If a preacher don't want me to pray in bed, that ain't what I'm saying, and I think you understand fully what I'm saying. Amen? But let me just say, because you will not be obedient to the voice of the Lord, your God, things happen that we're not going to make it very well. And he said here, they perish because of that. And when God speaks, you know, I don't know about you, I just want to be super sensitive to hear his voice when he speaks. I want to obey him. Don't you?
Amen.
You know, I want to obey him. I want to obey him. Obedience will bring blessing. And even when it went on in another place, it said blessing and cursing. And blessing if you obey, and curse if you don't obey. And again, when we're in that obedience thing, it's just like mom and dad saying, don't do that. You go ahead and do it anyway. You heard your voice, but really you didn't pay no attention to the voice. And I believe that's what we do sometimes with God. Sometimes we hear his voice, but we won't obey his voice. You know, so I don't know about you. I want to be an obedient kid, even if I am full grown. Okay, don't you?
Amen.
You know,